Welcome to Newton Field in Hudson. Tonight's Hudson Raider football game is against Eau Claire North. The Huskies come into this game tonight with the Raiders 1-7 on the season and looking for their first conference victory. On the other hand, the Hudson Raiders, coming off their big win against Menominee last week, have clinched the playoffs, and with the win tonight, they'll have an opportunity, all depending on how things play out, at a home playoff game next week. Tonight we've got a special guest with us. Joel, our usual color guy, had some other commitments tonight. So we've got a new guy in here with me tonight in the booth. And this is a guy that's been around Wisconsin football a little bit, did some TV work in Eau Claire, and also a college football quarterback. So be able to bring some insight to the game that maybe I wouldn't be able to bring, or Joel. Guy played at the collegiate level over at St. Thomas. And Matt Lechner, thanks for helping us out tonight.
My pleasure. Thanks for being here. Looking forward to this game. Looking to see if the Hudson Raiders can avenge last year's loss to this same Eau Claire North team.
North fields the kick, and the runner will be brought down at around the 28-yard line, so the Raiders will start off with pretty good starting field position on defense. And as Matt said, last year it was Eau Claire North with the victory over Hudson, and that was an opportunity for the Raiders to clinch the playoffs. It was their first chance after their win against Menominee last year. Weren't able to close the deal on North, and North really threw the ball around on them, and they lost that game and came back the following week and lost to Memorial. So tonight, different situation. The Raiders have already clinched the playoffs and just looking to ice this season and finish the season 6-3 and get into the playoffs on a good note. The North quarterback comes into this game. Doesn't have quite as prolific passing stats as last year's quarterback. They'll run it around the left side. Raiders had an opportunity to bring him down behind the line of scrimmage, but they'll be able to pick up about 2 yards on the run. That's J.T. Fisher for the run by North. But this quarterback coming in for Eau Claire North is Adam Fans, and last year's quarterback for the Huskies was really one of the better quarterbacks in the league. Adam Fans not quite to that level, and the Huskies have really struggled to score points. Haven't really been in a football game since early in the season. They've been really blown out over the last 5 or 6 weeks. So this is a game they come into just looking to preserve pride.
They're going to need to complete some passes to keep some drives alive, to keep this Hudson offense off the field. Look for Tyler Smersna. He was in on that play, missed the tackle, but I think he's going to have a big game.
The ball comes loose. Well, Stephen Berkey wrapped him up and shook the ball loose. It'll be Raider football well inside Husky territory. Bring out the offense at the 25-yard line. Stephen Berkey ripping the ball. Beinlich in there on the recovery, and the Raiders are in business from the turnover. Last week it was turnovers that really spurred the comeback by the Raiders, and now right away here, Raiders coming up with a turnover.
Well, this is a perfect opportunity for the Hudson Raiders to get on the board early here on senior night.
Luke Miller in the pistol. They'll send Holmes in motion. They'll kick it out to him. Actually, that's Bellin, and Bellin down to the 30-yard line after down to the 20 after a pickup of about 5.
Looks like a sizable size difference up front here for the Hudson Raiders. Look for them to get some good push throughout the night here. They should have no problem running the ball.
Bellin to the right, Malika to the left. And Frank Snyder up the middle for the Raiders, and another 5 or 6 yard gain. And it looks like Coach Cowles tonight mixing up the lineup a little bit. We don't see Holmes in there, and it looks like Alex Herink also not starting tonight's game. Sam Gallardi also not out there. We got Dewey out there, the other wide out. So Coach Cowles mixing up the offense a little bit when you've got the season, the playoff spot already wrapped up. No need to get anybody hurt. They'll send Malika in motion, hand it off around the right side. Malika diving forward, picking up about 5 on that first down carry.
Now the Hudson Raiders are looking at, they've run it right, they've run it left, they've run it up the middle. They're kind of seeing where the soft parts of the defense are. Right now it looks like the middle, and the offensive line is getting a good push. I think we're going to see probably some more belly option carries up the middle. I think that's where the Hudson Raiders could dominate this game.
We'll send Bellin in motion. They'll fake the handoff. Miller looking to throw. Throws it in there. He's got his man. That's going to be a touchdown for the Raiders. Complete to Griff Christensen, the senior. Christensen with his first touchdown of the season. And that will put the Raiders up 6-0, just over 2 minutes into the football game.
We saw 4 plays there. One went left, one went up the middle, one went right, and then they used play action to get the quarterback on the edge, and he finds the senior for the touchdown. Not a bad way to start senior night.
Sam Somerville will come in to kick for the Raiders. And the kick is up and good, so on senior night, Sam Somerville ices the 7-0 lead, and Somerville, a junior, we'll see him again next year.
Well, there's points off turnovers. You said it. Same thing last week. 4 plays after they forced a fumble, recovered it on the 25-yard line. They go 4 plays using a variety of looks. They gave Luke the run-pass option there. He waited for his receiver to come open, hit him right by the pylon. We're up 7-0 here, Hudson.
So the Raiders will come back out on defense after just giving up about 4 or 5 yards there on the first drive and then forcing that turnover. And haven't seen Eau Claire North throw yet. They've been trying to run the ball, but they throw the ball about 20 times a game, and we probably should expect to see them maybe try to throw it around after they've shown not to have much success on the run there.
They're going to need to try some things maybe earlier than they wanted to after that turnover after just 2 plays.
Somerville set to kick off for the Raiders. Kick is away and fielded, but muffed at around the 20-yard line. And Raiders able to take him down around the 30.
Hudson has come out in this game really active, very physical. Defensively, special teams, offensive line is getting a great push. I like the way this is starting right now for the Hudson Raiders.
So let's see what Adam Fans and company can come up with here on their second drive of the night. Send 2 receivers wide to the right, 2 to the left, 1 in the backfield with Fans. And he will hand it off to Fisher, and Fisher driven down for a short gain.
Derek Campbell filled that hole fast. It looked like he may have some space, but Campbell closed that gap real quick. Looked like a bad snap from center, too. Gave him a slow start, but even if it was a good snap there, I think Campbell hits that hole hard.
And Fans is actually being helped off the field. He looks to be in some pain.
That was quite a collision.
Yeah, he looks like he may be missing some time. So North will bring in their backup quarterback, and that appears to be
I don't know. Michael Holden?
Mikhail Holden is the backup quarterback for the Huskies.
So that changes the dynamic here, I would say, especially if North's going to throw the ball. Let's see how his young man's arm is.
Holden comes out flinging, though. Throws it out in the flats before he's brought down after a very short gain. Josh Schuler and Tyler Schmershna in there on the tackle. But a pickup of about 3 yards for the North Huskies. Mikhail Holden comes out first play throwing.
He's a junior, 6'1", 175 pounds. Showed a nice arm there. Got the ball and got rid of it quickly. Short gain. Shake the nerves off a little bit.
Brings up 3rd and 5 now for the Huskies. They'll bring in a couple tight ends. They've got 1 receiver wide to the left, 1 to the right. Bad snap. Holden looking to throw. Throws it over the middle. Intercepted. Tyler Schmershna across the 50. Still on his feet across the 45.
He's got some blockers.
To the 30, the 20. He's got a blocker in Beinlick. Gets over him and he's into the end zone. Touchdown Raiders. Tyler Schmershna showing the elusiveness. There is a flag down. And in that neighborhood, there's a very good chance we're looking at a block in the back or a hold.
Looked like there was a block in the back there.
And that's exactly
as
what
Smersna
we've
was
got.
trying to set up his blocks, which is too bad. That was a great return by Smersna. Set up his blocks, broke some tackles. Still, it's going to be Hudson ball.
Raiders should have the football probably around the 35 or 40-yard line, but definitely an incredible run back there by Schmershny. Just kind of a presentation of what kind of football player he is.
So we've had about 5 offensive plays for Eau Claire North, 2 turnovers. I'd say this Raiders team, especially on defense, well, and offense, came to play tonight.
Dewey to the left, Christensen to the right. Got Malika and Bellin, the wings, and Frank Snyder behind Luke Miller. They'll send Malika in motion and give it to Snyder. Snyder pulling his way forward. Pickup of about 3 on first down.
Right now you're looking at a defense with 6 defensive linemen up there, linebackers up on the line. They're playing for outside contain plus. That middle of the field looks like it could be soft.
Got Alex Hayes up front, as well as Kellen Pearson. Miller looking to throw. He's got his guy wide open in Bellin, and it's incomplete. Also up front playing right now, we've got Ben Shaw out there. Vince Lindstrom.
I like the look of that second down play right there. Great pass protection up front by the offensive line. Allowed Luke Miller to look off his first receiver, go to his second guy, just missed him. That could have been 7. We could have been talking about another touchdown, but it's incomplete. I bet you they're going to go back to that play soon.
3rd and 7. Herring comes into the game at receiver. And Miller will give it to Snyder. Snyder breaking tackles down to the 25, and that should be a first down for the Raiders.
Looks like it's going to be about 4th and 1 here. Again, Snyder breaking tackles. The middle of the defense looks soft right now. Hudson Raiders offensive line doing a great job of getting push.
4th and very short now for the Raiders. Dewey to the left, Herring to the right. Snyder behind Miller. Malika in motion. And Miller just trying to draw the Huskies off sides. Doesn't work the first time. They'll try it again. Now they'll hand it off to Snyder. Snyder, a big hole, still on his feet. One man to beat, finally pulled down just inside the 10-yard line down near the 5.
Snyder's not even getting touched by the front line of the Eau Claire North defensive line. He's making it to that second level without a problem. He's going to have a big night tonight.
Seas parted for Frank Snyder. That may be a case. The Raiders are specialists at getting people to come off sides on that. That may be a case where they were coached up so much to not go off sides that it really took a lot of the tenacity out of the defense. They were just concentrating on not going off sides. Miller will keep it himself on the option. He's got Bellin behind him. Takes it himself, and he's going to be wrapped up near the 6-yard line.
Pretty good contain there by the Eau Claire North Husky defense, giving Miller really nowhere to run.
Give him a tough spot out to the 7. 5:18 left in the first quarter. Raiders looking to add to a 7-0 lead over Eau Claire North. And this time Miller keeps himself again on the option. Got Bellin, tries to kick it out, and North able to cover that one up. Swatted the ball down, and Miller lucky to recover it.
Again, this is good contain here by the Huskies defense. That option left right now is getting strung out, and that was lucky right there. Fortunate for the Hudson Raiders that was not a turnover.
So a 3rd and goal from the 14 coming up for the Raiders, and Tyler Schmershna has entered the lineup.
It's a great opportunity to use the wide side of the field as a rollout, maybe a corner route coming up here. Some sort of play action.
And they give it to Snyder up the middle. Snyder making guys miss, but driven down at around the 7 or 8 yard line. That'll bring up a 4th down. The Raiders will be at the center of the field, and they are going to bring out the kicking team.
The Raiders decide to run the ball, get it to the center of the field, giving them an opportunity at a field goal, go up 10-0.
Somerville has not kicked a field goal all season long, but this one here is about 5 yards longer than an extra point. So very makeable kick here for Sam Somerville. Holmes with the hold. He's got it down. The kick is up. It's good, and the Raiders will take a 10-0 lead. Check that. The kick wide left. Looked good from our vantage point, but wide left.
Just missed going over the left upright. So the Huskies take over here. I can't see if their backup quarterback is still in there or if their young starter is on the field. Looks like
we'll look for him. Looks like Holden coming back out in the field, so the backup quarterback will once again come out in the field and lead the Huskies. Huskies able to dodge a bullet there, still trailing just 7-0. So Holden with one receiver wide to the left, or two to the left, one to the right. And he pitches it out to the right. He's got some space before he's pulled down. And the ball nearly comes loose. Josh Schuler, Stephen Berkey in there on the tackle.
Fisher did a great job of following the pulling blockers and make the tackle from behind there.
Fisher, the Huskies' second leading rusher, 43 carries, 176 yards coming into this game. Averages about 4 yards a carry. So Holden hands it off to Fisher again, and this time Raiders working on pulling him down, but Fisher really dragged a few Raiders forward there. Pickup of about 3 or 4 on second down, and that brings up a third, and very reasonable here. Actually, that'll move the chains for the Huskies. So Eau Claire North's first down comes with just 2:47 left in the first quarter.
Well, it looks like they're going to spread them out even when they're going to run. We talked about them being a throwing team here, but they're going into 4 wide receiver sets here and giving it to the running back right up the middle. Let's see if that continues or if they're going to start throwing the ball, as we suspect they will.
Holden will hand off to Fisher once again, and Fisher with a nice gain of 3 or 4. This is kind of the opposite of what we saw last season. Last season, Raiders entered the game and really were kind of blown aback by as much throwing as Eau Claire North did. They really didn't run the ball at all in last season's game. And now in this game, we come in expecting pass, and we're seeing a lot of run.
Well, you got to expect with their starting quarterback out now, and after there was quick 2 turnovers, that they're going to get a little bit more conservative and keep the ball away from the Raiders, at least try to. They're doing a good job so far keeping this ball moving.
Holden with Fisher next to him, looks to throw this time. Pump fakes and then throws it out in the flat, and it's going to be intercepted by Josh Schuler. And Schuler taken down inside the 40, and that's 3 possessions for North and 3 turnovers for the Raider defense.
The quarterback went to about his 3rd read there, a drag route. Threw a little bit behind the receiver. Receiver got a hand on it, tipped it up to Schuler. And Schuler taking advantage of it. He's everywhere on this field. He was responsible for that hit at the beginning of the game that knocked out the Huskies starting quarterback, and there he is with the interception. He's having a nice first quarter here.
So the Raiders will take over once again. 3rd possession starting inside Husky territory. And Miller gets it to Holmes. Holmes looks to
pass
throw.
Option here. He's going to tuck it.
He's going to keep it himself, and now he rounds the corner down to the 30-yard line, still on his feet, down to the 25. And Mike Holmes last season entered the season as one of the quarterbacks in the platoon and really comes into this game as probably the backup quarterback for the Raiders. And he can throw the ball. They did have a nice throw like that early in the season off of that option. But that time Holmes decided to pack it in and take it himself.
Also, once again, the Huskies are doing a good job of stringing these plays out. Holmes did a good job, though.
Miller kicks it to Schmershna. Schmershna still on his feet. He's going to score. Touchdown, Raiders.
Looks like we have a flag here.
So the second touchdown of the night for Schmershna going to be called back due to the yellow hanky.
Once the Raiders clean up their holding penalties here, their offense looks like they're ready to explode. That was a great run there by Smarzna, finding the open field after breaking a tackle. Now it's on the 40-yard line. They're going to do it again with first down and about 25 to go.
So the Raiders hurt themselves in their last drive with that penalty on the interception run back, and now start off this drive with the first play with a bad holding penalty that accounts for about 15 yards.
Look for the Raiders to have success running to the right. They've had a great amount of yards going that way. To the left, they've had a little more difficulty. So
they fake it to Holmes. Miller throwing, and Miller nearly intercepted, looking for Smersna, and that was just covered up well by the Huskies.
Again, rolling to the right there. I think they can find some space over there on the right. We'll see if they use that to their advantage as the game moves on here with about 2 minutes left in the first quarter.
And they will give it to Holmes. Holmes around the left side. He's got an opening. Still on his feet. They're not going to catch him. Finally pull him down inside the 10-yard line. It'll be first and goal for the Raiders.
He went untouched. Nice little pitch to the left. Cut it back up the middle. And a nice run there for close to 35 yards.
So first and goal for the Raiders. Just 8 seconds left in the first quarter. Raiders looking to get the ball into the end zone here before the horn blows. And they will give it to Snyder. Snyder into the end zone. Touchdown, Raiders. That extends the lead to 13-0. So that time they went to the left side, Matt.
No flags.
No flags, and a nice push on the left side of the line.
The left side of the line. I think you're going to see Snyder getting a lot of opportunities up the middle. Once he gets to that second level, he's going to be hard to bring down as this game goes on. And now what this does as well, it's going to force Eau Claire North to throw the ball.
Somerville kicks the ball through. That's going to be good. That extends the Raider lead to 14-0.
And what we've seen already with the backup quarterback is 2 interceptions. One off the hands of his wide receiver. The other one, he overthrew his receiver over the middle. It looks like the Huskies coaches, their game plan is not changing. They're going to throw the ball. It's just a matter if this young man is going to be able to complete enough passes to keep the chains moving. But let's give credit to the Raiders' defense here. They've come out and played extremely well in this first 12 minutes of the game.
3 turnovers and 3 possessions on defense. Raider defense coming out firing. Really, they spurred that comeback. The Raiders were staring 16-0 in the face last week against Menominee, and the defense came up with 2 turnovers in that second quarter that brought on a 23-point second quarter for the Raiders, and that was pretty much all she wrote from there on. Gave the Raider offense some momentum and some little bit of moxie, if you will, and from there the Raider offense kind of took over, and it really ended up being a complete game from the first quarter on. And tonight that Raider defense taking off from where they left off last week. And this year, this has really been a Raider defense that's come up with a lot of turnovers. They forced 6 turnovers in their Week 1 matchup with Wisconsin Rapids. And if you haven't been paying attention to what's going on in the state, Wisconsin Rapids lost that game to the Raiders 19-0 in Week 1. Since then, they've rolled off 7 straight victories, and they're the number 5 team in the state in Division 1.
14 points off 3 turnovers. We had that penalty as well that nullified one of the touchdowns, so we could easily have 21 points. Instead, we have 14 off those 3 turnovers here for Hudson.
Somerville kicks it off, fielded it about the 15, and still on his feet is Fisher before he's brought down at around the 34 by Sestanchik.
And there's Snyder right there near the play on special teams after scoring a touchdown.
Haven't seen any Dan Lotney, who's usually the starter in that position, and maybe just a case of Coach Cowles deciding to give the guy a little break. This isn't a game that the Raiders came into really needing a victory, and I think they probably felt pretty confident that they could do it without some of their key players, giving some guys some rest, because Lotney's got a big test ahead of him next week, whoever the Raiders play in the playoffs. And they will give it to Fisher, and Fisher pushes the pile forward for a gain of 6 on first down.
The Raiders dialed up a blitz there, coming right up the middle. The Huskies guessed right, ran the ball to the right past the blitzing linebacker, gained 6 yards. Tough run on the ground.
Second and a short 4 for the Huskies. And they will run it up the middle once again with Fisher. And Fisher, close to the first down, he's going to be a little short, gain of 2 on second down.
Looks like a 3rd and 1 here. I don't anticipate them deviating from any other play that they just ran here. Look for Fisher to get another carry up the middle. Let's see if the Raiders defense can hold stout here and force a punt, or maybe try and go for it on 4th down. We'll see here, down 14-0.
Mikhail Holden still on the field at quarterback for the Huskies. Their starter, Adam Fans, knocked out in the second series of the night.
Congratulations, Hudson soccer team.
And Holden hands it off to Fisher. Fisher wrapped up and pulled
get it
backwards by Beinlich. And that is not going to be enough for a first down. It should bring up 4th.
That's a gain of about a foot. Great job by the Hudson defense to get push and stand up that offensive line of the Huskies, then come in and make the tackle, stopping Fisher. It looks like they're going to go for it here on 4th down. Not a surprise on the Huskies' 43-yard line. They got to get something going. They're going to call a timeout here and talk about it before they make this call.
Yeah, when you haven't won a game in the conference, why not? What do you have to lose? This is the last game of the season. Might as well take a chance here and try to get something going, try to end your season on a positive note.
And you got a big running back in Fisher. He gained 6 tough yards on first down. Struggled to get the first down on that last play, but that was more of a solid defensive play than a poor offensive play. So I don't see them going away from Fisher here on 4th down.
Yeah, this is a football team in Eau Claire North who played River Falls last week. Both teams went into that game 0-for in the conference. So I think both teams probably looked at that game as an opportunity to get their first win in conference. And unfortunately for the Huskies, came out of that game with a 57-7 defeat. So I got to think they come into this game sort of like a wild animal in a corner. I mean, they really have nothing to lose here and everything to gain to just come out swinging tonight.
Well, for a lot of these young men, this is going to be their last football game. They don't, for the seniors, they're not going to the playoffs. So this is their last game. They want to go out winners.
So the Huskies on 4th and 1 from their own 43 will go for it. And Holden will keep it himself, and I think he's probably going to have it, but it's going to depend on the spot. Huskies got a nice push on the right side of their line. It'll just kind of depend on where the officials mark the ball here.
I think they're going to have to bring out the chains for this. This is awfully close.
Huskies say they have it, but boy,
I think this is going to be Raiders' ball. They may have missed it by about an inch or 2. This is right in our sight line here.
Yeah,
It all depends. This is where you, if you're the Eau Claire North Huskies, you hope there's a chain link that gets stuck so you get the first down. But I think they may. This could be a great stand here for Hudson.
And they're going to be short. Raider football.
What a great stand there by the defense. The quarterback tried to sneak it to the right side, get a push by the fullback. But that Hudson defensive line stood the Huskies offensive line up and stopped that play cold. Now they take over in Huskies territory.
This is the 4th straight possession. The Raiders offense has come onto the field on the right side of the field. So Miller under center this time. Herring to his right, and they will kick it out to Schmershna. Schmershna finding room, setting up his blockers, and gets inside the 30. Pickup of about 14 yards on first down.
He's not getting touched after. He's not getting touched until he gets 10 yards past the line of scrimmage. That right side has been wide open for the Raiders offense all day. We'll see if they can get this going to the left as well. Once they do that, this offense could be unstoppable this evening. We could see this game get out of hand quite early.
Gallardi and Herring to the left. Bellin goes in motion, and they'll pitch it to Bellin. Malika blocking for him, finds another seam, and he's going to be close to a first down. Pickup of about 8 on first down.
What the Raiders are doing really well here is they're getting their runners running downhill. They're getting good blocking downfield, and these runners aren't getting touched until 5-6 yards down the field. And if they're breaking tackles, you're going to be seeing some long touchdown runs here for the Raiders.
Miller goes under center this time. They'll send Malika in motion, and they'll give it to Bellin. Bellin sweeping through there, and he's going to get down to about the 15-yard line. That will move the chains once again. A first down for the Raiders.
Again, this offense is now getting frustrating for the Eau Claire North Huskies because they're able to run the ball to the right, run the ball to the left, up the middle. Play action has worked. This is something that becomes more frustrating with defenses because now you have to think instead of just react, and that's always an advantage to the offense.
Miller under center, and they will give it to Holmes. Holmes making his way down near the 6-yard line, and that will be close to a first down, probably a pickup of 8 on first down.
Looked like the same play, almost like a fake toss to the right, inside belly play with a tackle or a guard pulling up there in the middle to get to the linebackers. That's going for 7-8 yards easy.
Herring to the right, Gallardi to the left. And they'll send Bellin in motion. Miller on the option. Miller's going to go into the end zone untouched. Touchdown Raiders, and that is going to take the lead to 20-0. Somerville on to kick the extra point.
Very impressive play, very impressive drive right there. That took 4 plays to go 43 yards for the Hudson Raiders, and it was all runs. I mean, this is what we're going to see the rest of the night. These runs right, runs left, and they've been mixing it up very well. That time Miller keeps it himself. They took away the pitch man. He tucks it and goes untouched into the end zone.
They did exactly what they wanted that entire drive. And that one was close, but it goes through, and that'll make it 21-0. Hudson Raiders over Eau Claire North with 8 minutes left in the second quarter, and if the Huskies can't get something going quick, Matt, we're going to have a running clock in the second half.
They're up against a challenge, not only this Hudson defense, but their backup quarterback as well. He probably didn't practice like he was going to be the starter and be in there, and that's probably taken away from some of their game planning right now. You and I thought the Huskies would come in here and try to pass the ball like they did last year, possibly 20 times a game. Now they're going to have to play. Now they're going to have to pass to try and get back into this game with their backup quarterback. And with the way the Hudson defense is playing right now, that's not a good combination.
It'll be interesting to see what the Huskies do when you're down 21-0. Maybe at this point you just kind of try to play like it's 0-0 and just try to get something going here. Just sitting back there and just trying to throw the ball down the field may not be the way to go. You could find yourself in a big hole fast.
And it looks like the Huskies offense has the ability to be creative with the right personnel. They've become very vanilla. Last drive, running the ball 4 times up the middle. 3 with Fisher, 1 with a quarterback sneak, and eventually a turnover on downs.
Somerville to kick. A high kick. Fielded, takes a bounce and fielded around the 15. And that's going to be Fisher taking it out to the 27, and that bounce was just enough to set up the Raiders' coverage teams, and Fisher just not able to get anything going.
Now what the Huskies should be looking for here is take advantage of this over-aggressive Raiders defense. Look at some draws, look at some screens. Try and get some confidence in your young quarterback here and get the ball into Fisher's hands in space.
Sophomore Miles Lewis able to get the tackle on that return. So we'll see him for a few more years in the Raider blue. North will give it to Fisher once again and stood up, push backwards. Derek Campbell.
Derek, what impresses me about Campbell is he doesn't miss many tackles. When you hit him, he's the one who's going forward. You're going backwards. Campbell's having an exceptional game here with his interception, couple tackles. He's looking very solid tonight.
And the linebacker crew for the Raiders having a heck of a night. Campbell with the pick and Schuler also with the pick. Looking to throw this time. John Botza takes a swing before Matt Strakota comes in there to clean him up, and that's a loss of about 7 yards. And that one was all set up by the pressure from John Botzett and Strakota right there when the quarterback made his move the other way.
Quarterback thought he was home free when he got out of the grasp of Botzett, and there he was, smacking him in his face with Strakota. It looks like Botzett got poked in the eye or something. He comes off for this play. He's getting looked at by the coaches there. My guess is he'll be back on the field, though.
Huskies will set up with 2 receivers wide to the right, 2 to the left. And they're looking to throw here on 3rd down. Fires it up, throws it down the sideline, and Pruitt can't get there to pick it off, but Holden's going to throw another incompletion, and that should send the Husky punt team onto the field with 4th and 17 coming up.
What you're seeing now for the Huskies is a defensive offense. The quarterback, they're trying to protect the quarterback from getting hit on the play. They put him in the shotgun. He dropped back, flung it deep, hoping for a long reception. Instead, it's a incomplete pass, and now we're ready for a punt here. The Huskies are going to take over with great field position again.
Schmershna back deep, standing at around the 47-yard line. Snap goes over the punter's head and into the end zone. This is going to be trouble. He's hit but gets the kick away, and that kick is going to land at around the 27-yard line. So when it rains, it pours for the Eau Claire North Huskies, and it's pouring.
I know that was a 4-yard punt, but that was quite the 4-yard punt. The snap goes over the punter's head. He picks it up. It's being chased by 2 Huskies defenders. Gets a punt off for 27 yards from where he was.
Give him credit for getting
Give
the ball
him credit.
out of there. That really should have easily been 7 points for the Raiders.
That could have been worse than it was right there. Instead, Raiders ball here at the 27-yard line. Let's see how they work this offense.
Christensen and Dewey wide to the right for the Raiders. And Miller will keep it on the option. Kicks it out to Malika. Malika's got some room across the 20, across the 10. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, Raiders.
What a play by Zach Miller. He sold that belly option fake, pulled it out, optioned the defensive end. Couple tackles broken later, and we have a 27-0. Raiders lead. 35-yard run by Malika there. And that was what I was talking about. He's not getting touched until he's 10, 15 yards downfield. They start breaking tackles like that. You're going to start seeing longer touchdown runs. You saw one right there. Great play.
And kick is up by Somerville, and it's good. Longest touchdown run of the season for Malika, and that will make it 28-0 Raiders with 6:12 left in the first half.
I hate to keep bringing this up, but that right side right now is where Hudson is having a lot of success, but they're also finding success around the left side, up the middle. So the Huskies have to figure out which area do you plug, and of course that leaves them vulnerable to other spots.
Yeah,
I don't see this defense doing much to slow down this Raiders offense.
Right now they're sticking their fingers and toes and everything else into the holes in the dam, and it's just kind of breaking loose on them right now.
And give the Raiders credit here. They're doing a very good job of blocking downfield. Offensive line is doing a good job at the point of contact, but downfield as well. Those wide receivers are getting down, and they're pushing the D-backs off the ball. You make 1-2 missed tackle, or make one or two defender miss, and you're going to look at some long touchdowns here.
The Raiders have some speed on the edges with Malika, Smersna, Mike Holmes. They certainly can stretch out the field on those edges.
And let's not forget Miller there. He read that option. That was as well an option run as I've seen tonight.
This time Stanchek will kick off for the Raiders. And this one going to be fielded around the 10-yard line. And pulled down from behind. Lawrence Pruitt making the tackle to 27-yard line.
Pruitt with a nice job there. Looked like the kick returner had a nice little seam there, but Pruitt came around the back end and brought him down for the tackle.
Hey, if you ask me, Matt, the MVP of the Raiders' offense tonight has been the Raiders' defense. The Raiders have not started the drive in their own territory tonight.
I think there's enough game balls to go around for a lot of people right now.
So the Huskies come out trailing 28-0, just looking to get something positive going. And the snap is fumbled, and they get it to Fisher, but Sam Rosica and company in there for the TFL, and the Huskies lose about 3 yards on first down.
The Huskies are having trouble with that center snap out of the shotgun. And the Hudson Raiders, they start in a 3-4 defense, put 3 defensive linemen on the ground and run the 4 linebackers, and that outside linebacker is much like the Packers, and they use those guys as a rush, and that's where Rosica was. He found himself rushing right into the running back and dropping him for a 2-yard loss. Very nice play by this defense.
This time North looking to throw, get it across the middle. Intercepted by Josh Schuler, and he's going to have one guy to beat. It's Fisher. Fisher pulls him down. There is a flag on the field near the center of the field. But for right now, looks like Josh Schuler's got his second pick of the night, but let's check on the hanky.
It looks like a post-interception flag, probably for holding or illegal block. I'm going to say the Hudson Raiders keep this ball. They're excited about something, so it looks like they're going to keep the ball, and here comes the offense. Schuler, again, we've talked about how well he's played. That's his second interception here in the first half. He's been in on several tackles.
Schuler transferred into Hudson last year, and he's been a great addition to this defense. Still having a discussion over there.
So this young quarterback, backup quarterback for the Huskies, Holden comes in after the starting quarterback gets knocked out by Schuler after the first play of the game. Comes in, has thrown 3 interceptions. Not all of them were his fault. One went off his wide receiver's hands.
That penalty was against the Huskies.
Wow.
And the officials mark it half the distance to the goal, so the Raiders will start this drive at the 5-yard line of Eau Claire North.
I didn't hear what the indication was on the penalty, but it gives the Raiders a gift right on the 5-yard line here.
So Miller has Lotney behind him now. Malika to the left, Bellin to his right. They'll send Bellin in motion and pitch it out to him. Malika the lead blocker, but Bellin going to be wrapped up at around the 10-yard line.
Good defense right there by the Huskies. They strung that play out and then swarmed, dropping Botany for a 6-yard loss there.
And that seems to be the plays that the Huskies are able to cover up are the kind of the slow developing plays. When the Raiders go ahead and just try to fling it around the edge on a pitch or something that's a little quicker developing, they're having success. But when they try to run a play that's a little slower developing, seems to get wrapped up quite well by the Huskies.
Yeah, and that left side continues to be a strong point for the Huskies defense.
And Miller has it on the option. Kicks it out to Bellin. Bellin down to the 5-yard line. Tripped up. And
the refs blew the whistle before that play. Looks like they're going to have some words here with the Raiders.
Talking to the Raider captain, though, so that's got to make me believe that this penalty is going to be against North.
He's having words with the quarterback.
So they're going to replay second down.
Again, no explanation to why that play was blown dead. No penalty, no injury.
So
we'll just assume something happened.
Second goal from the 10. We'll try it again. And Miller will hand it off to Lotney, and Lotney nowhere to go.
The Huskies tightening up on defense here, making 2 nice plays in a row, a 6-yard loss and then a stop and a gut play up the middle. So we have third down and goal here from about the 11 for the Raiders.
Miller with Lotney behind him, and they will fake the handoff on the option. Give it to Bellin. Bellin's got space near the goal line, but turned around and around the 1 or 2 yard line.
A nice decision there by Miller again. Pulled the ball out after a belly option. Optioned the defensive end. Gave his running back an opportunity to get into the open field.
Looks like the Raiders will try another field goal to bring Somerville in here. This is a good thing to work on. The Raiders have not made a field goal this season, and this may be something that they need to get done in the playoffs. So this is a good time to work on this.
Notice on the right hash, a very awkward angle for this kick.
Somerville kicks it through. It's good. And as you said, as a left-handed kicker, a left-footed kicker, that's a tough angle.
So there it is, your first field goal. And let's give credit to the Huskies defense here. They held them there. 5-yard line, they get the ball, the Raiders do. A 6-yard loss, then a 1-yard gain, and then a gain down, an 8-yard gain down to the 2, and then the field goal. So the Huskies showed up there. We talked about being 28 nothing, and is it time to show up? This is for some of these young men, it's their last time that they're going to be on the field playing organized football. So you want to have that opportunity to go out and say, you know, in my last game, I gave it my all the way to the end of the game. So a nice stand there for the Huskies. Let's give credit where credit is due. The Raiders end up coming away with some points. Now up 31-0.
So 3:43 left in the first half. Raiders kicking away.
Now, if you're the Huskies offense here, you've thrown 3 interceptions in the first half. Again, I think you find a way to get Fisher the ball in space, maybe run a couple screen plays, some safe plays, get him the ball.
Somerville with the kick. He fielded around the 20-yard line, and Fisher finds an opening before he's hit hard and driven down at around the 32-yard line.
Another great collision there. Frank Snyder. That's 2 straight special team tackles for the fullback Snyder. Think that kid likes to hit?
We call him the Tank, and there's a reason for it. He's not afraid of a little contact.
And that's so valuable when you talk about high school football. Because there are some kids that just don't want the contact. They shy away from it. There's the other kids. When you have kids on the team that aren't afraid to hit, they show up, especially in games where there's an offense and defensive mismatch like we're seeing tonight.
So again, a little delay here. The referee came out, had a couple words with Coach Cowles, and now he's just kind of moseying back onto the field. Not sure what's going on here.
Looks like he's looking at the clock. We have a clock issue right now. It reads 33:10. I think it's 3 minutes and 10 seconds. So they're trying to figure out a clock situation.
And it looks like they've got it fixed. So here we go, just over 3 minutes left in the first half, and the Huskies looking to get something going on offense here. The Raiders have dominated this football game. Holding on that screen that you talked about, gets it to Fitzgerald, and Fitzgerald's going to be pulled down by Stanchak, and really looked like the Raiders were playing for the interception. They saw that coming, but Holden able to throw it over those defenders, and then Fitzgerald makes the catch before Stanchak comes up there and brings him down with a shoestring tackle.
It gained 2 yards, but it's a smart play because it's going to keep that defensive line honest. Right now, they just have their ears pinned back, and the outside linebackers as well. They're coming up and making plays in the backfield. So you have to keep them honest here if you're the Huskies offense.
So Holden will hand it off this time. And Fisher will pick up about 4 or 5. And that's going to make it a third and manageable situation coming up for Eau Claire North.
One of the things that the Raiders have done very well tonight is made tackles. Fisher's gotten into that second level of linebackers and hasn't gone past it. You're seeing a lot of 4, 5, 6-yard gains where the Raiders on offense are getting 10, 15, 20-yard gains by breaking those tackles. So some good sure tackling tonight by the Raiders is keeping the Huskies offense off the field and in situations like this, 3rd down and 4.
Holden throws it across the middle. It's caught, and that will be Eau Claire North's first foray into Hudson territory, and that is their second first down of the night. That's Anthony Milosevic with the catch, and he is not their leading receiver, but their leading touchdown receiver. He's got 10 grabs on the season for 4 touchdowns.
And the Huskies needed that on 3rd and 4. They needed that first down, and very nice play right there by Holden. That's a pitch and a throw right there. That's not an easy pass to complete. A slant route, 12, 15 yards down the field. Very nice throw and catch.
Holden looking to throw once again on first down and throws it short, and the pass is going to go incomplete, throw a little bit high, and the Huskies unable to come down with it.
Now what the Huskies are trying to do here is they're trying to make these plays on offense, these pass plays, safer. You notice they had the screen pass, they had a slant pass there, it was a wide receiver screen. They don't want to put too much on this young quarterback, and the way this Raiders defense is playing, they want to make sure that their pass plays are safe and you can complete them and try and make some defenders miss, which right now Raiders defenders are just not missing.
1:39 left in the first half. Raiders leading 31-0, and the Huskies will hand it off to Fisher, and Fisher buried by a pile of blue shirts, and that's going to be actually a loss of about a half a yard.
That was Botzett right there plugging up the middle. Fisher gets the handoff out of the shotgun, and there's Botzett right there to plug that hole and bring him down for a loss of 1. Nice play right there by the defensive line as a unit right there, getting a push on the offensive line of the Huskies to stop that play cold.
Clock ticking at 1:05. 3rd down and 11 for Eau Claire North. Holden looking, throwing downfield, and that's going to be nearly intercepted, and it will be incomplete. There is a yellow flag on the field. And that's in the neighborhood of a holding on North. We'll see what actually the Huskies
North is clapping here.
Yeah, they're clapping.
We got a face mask. It looks like one of the Raiders defenders grabbed the quarterback's face mask as he was dropping back there. So that's going to give him an automatic first down there.
That'll give the Huskies a first down, and with 56 seconds left, they'll have an opportunity here to put some points on the board.
I think right here with 56 seconds left, you're going to get the ball at about the 34-yard line of the Raiders. This is where I think you take some shots downfield if you're the Huskies. Try and stretch the field. Try and score right now. So let's see if they use the vertical route to try and get on the scoreboard before half.
North has 2 timeouts remaining. 56 seconds left in the first half. Raiders trying to keep the goose egg on the board for Eau Claire North.
Look for the single coverage up there on the top of the screen.
That's Lawrence Pruitt up there, and Pruitt probably the best cover corner for the Raiders, and they'll go right to him. Pruitt there, and the Huskies able to make the grab for the touchdown.
Well, it was definitely a play that looked good from up here. Obviously, the Huskies thought it was good too. You put
Miloskowitz out there on Lawrence Pruitt. Pruitt really was in good position, but
you know what? Pruitt had very good coverage. It's just he was out jumped. He was out
height.
Out heighted. Yes. You can't teach height, as they say. But just a nice play by the Huskies. It looked like it was a developing play that they wanted to get on the board before half. It was a good play. Quarterback made a nice throw. Nice catch by the wide receiver. Nice coverage by Pruitt as well. I would just have to say that's what you call a good football play all the way around. maybe the next time Pruitt intercepts that pass, but this time it goes for the Huskies, and they score, and they're on the board before half.
Well, Oskowitz just kind of looks like one of those receivers in the mold of Alex Herring, where he's just a tall guy and just able to reach over Pruitt. Pruitt had great position there. Oskowitz just reached over him for the ball and took it in for the touchdown.
And we talked about this at length. This could be the last game for some of these kids. So, when you talk about when you leave the field tonight on your final game, do you say, this is the last time I'm going to play football? I want to make sure that I give it my all. And, these two, that connection to quarterback, that Holden to Miloskowitz, he's a sophomore. Holden's a junior. So these guys are going to be back. That's a positive for these. That's a positive for these Huskies. So they have to look at this as an opportunity to improve rather than call this a career.
And the kick is away. It will be fielded by Malika. Malika takes it out to the 39-yard line for the Raiders. And that is the 35 is the worst starting field position the Raiders have had all night with 41 seconds left. I don't expect the Raiders to get too creative here on offense.
Probably a couple hands-offs up the middle. Maybe they break a tackle. Maybe they don't. I think they'll be content going into halftime up 31-7.
Miller sends Holmes in motion, gives it to Lotney, and Lotney pickup of about 4 out to the 39-yard line.
They are going to hurry here.
29 seconds and ticking. And Miller will give it to Lotney once again, and Lotney picking up about 2 or 3. And 17 seconds left. For some reason, the Raiders call a timeout.
Interesting couple play calls there and then call a timeout. Yeah, now, do they come out here and pass, or do you go for something around the edge? This right side has been very good for the Raiders' offense. They may try an option here. Even if they do turn it over, you can take some chances here, because even if you turn it over, there's not a lot of time for the Huskies' offense to score before half. So the Raiders have some options here.
Up 31-7, and the Raiders will get the ball first in the second half. Not sure why they're not standing in the locker room right now.
It is an interesting call. And I think what you could see here, is another handoff right up the middle, see if they break a couple tackles. If not, they head into the locker room up 31-7, get the ball in the second half, and have an opportunity to run their offense then.
And the Raiders will come out in sort of a tight formation here. Gallardi and Herink wide to the left, Miller under center. They'll run Holmes in motion and pitch it to him. And Holmes finds some space and takes it out to the 45-yard line. That'll be a first down for the Raiders, and they will call a timeout with 11 seconds left. So maybe the Raiders just trying to see what they can do here with 20 seconds left, just to kind of work on something here for the playoffs.
I think that's probably the most accurate thing that you're seeing here is maybe this is something they want to work out at the end of the half. In the playoffs, they may be closer at half. They have an opportunity to manufacture some points before the half. So they're getting in some good game time, real game situations before they go into the playoffs. This game is in pretty good hand, at least in the first half. So you would think that this is practice for next week.
And again, we're really not sure who the Raiders will be playing as of tonight. By the time you watch this on Saturday, you should be able to get the pairings at WIAAWI.org. You'll be able to check in the pairings and see who the Raiders play and where they will be playing next Friday or Saturday night in the first round of the playoffs. Holmes goes in motion. Miller looking to throw. Winds up, throws it across the field, and it's caught by Alex Herring down to about the 32-yard line, and the Raiders will call their final timeout.
They have about 6 seconds left in this game, so they have one play, no timeouts. But they do have an opportunity to throw it into the end zone here if they want to try and get some points before half. Again, this has been a nice little drive. If they're working on this for the playoffs, this gives them a little bit of this should give them a little bit of momentum here, and allows them to believe that they can do this if it's at the end of the game or if it's at the end of the half here. They ran a couple belly options up the middle, gained some yards there, then they went around the edge, called a couple timeouts. Now here they are at the 33-yard line with 6 seconds left. If they're in a tight game, they know at least that they can get into a part of the field where they can make one throw into the end zone and maybe catch a pass here and score going into the locker room.
This is a spot where the Raiders have looked for Alex Herink. If they're going to throw it into the end zone, you got to think that big number 89 is probably going to be on the wish list for Luke Miller here.
Yeah, at 6'5", he's flanked out here to the right. You got to think a jump ball to him is a good call right about here.
So Miller from the pistol with Lotney behind him. And Miller rolls to the right, and he's going to take it himself. And this is not going to get into the end zone.
We do have a flag on the play near the end zone.
And
if it's a defensive penalty here, we could see the half extended, and it looked like it may have been defensive holding.
So if we've got a defensive penalty, the Raiders are going to be moved a little closer, and they'll have one more play, and that is the case. It's holding against Eau Claire North. So the Raiders will have one more shot to put this into the end zone.
Well, that's why Luke Miller didn't throw the ball to Herrick. He was being held down near about the 5-yard line, and they're going to give him another opportunity here to.
Looks like Somerville's going to come out and try to kick a field goal.
We're going to see if they can manufacture a field goal out of that drive. That started with just 19 seconds. So they went about 50 yards here, and now it's the ball's being put on the 12-yard line. We're talking they went about 60 to 65 yards in 19 seconds. So let's see if they can get 3 points out of this. And
it's about a 29-yard field goal for Somerville, and until tonight he has not attempted a field goal. So this will be his third attempt. He's 1 for 2 tonight.
This is a positive drive. Coaches will use this in a close game and say, you guys can do this. You've proven you can do it.
And it's down by Holmes. The kick
nice
is
kick.
Up, and it's good.
So there you go. They drive 60 yards, get 3 points out of it in 19 seconds. You got to think when the coaches go to the tape and they talk to the players in between this game and their next game, they're going to look at this and say, you guys can score with 19 seconds left. You're never out of a game. So that's a very positive way to end a half.
So some work by the coaches there. And speaking of coaches, we alluded earlier tonight about your college football career. And a lot of the folks here who are watching the game and who are here, they know Coach Cowles really as a coach, and they don't know him as a player. But there was a time where the guy was a pretty good college football quarterback. He's in the Hall of Fame at River Falls, and you had an experience playing against him at one point in your college career.
Yeah, back in 1995, I was a freshman at the University of St. Thomas, and River Falls hosted the Tommies, and Knowles went for about 325 yards rushing, 6 touchdowns on the ground. The Falcons rolled the Tommies about 70-6. They ran a wishbone option. It was a lot like Nebraska's wishbone offense back when they ran the ball without being stopped. Very, very good runner, great decision maker, ran that offense to perfection, really ran the wishbone offense to a level that I had not seen before, especially at a Division III level. And he was playing behind a pretty big offensive line that just muscled teams. And this is back when the River Falls Falcons were really good. They were playing in the Division III playoffs and were contenders for the Stag Bowl, which is the Division III national championship. I know things have changed over the years, but yeah, he was an exceptional running back who made a lot of defenses look pretty bad, including ours.
I just wanted to get that story in there. When you told me that on the way to the game, I thought, boy, that would be something that our viewers would really like to hear. Everybody kind of knows Coach Cowles as the coach, but at one point, the guy was really an incredible quarterback.
And you know what? He was a great leader. You could tell his players respected him. He was the type of player who you could scheme for, but you couldn't stop. Those guys are very rare, especially in Division III. We're talking about Division III. A lot of guys, obviously, that's just an opportunity to play 4 more years. You're not going to go pro, but usually you could scheme for guys and you could stop them. You could figure out ways to stop them. We schemed all week to try and stop him, and he still rushed for
a lot.
300 yards and 6 touchdowns or whatever it was, and they blew us out. So yeah, he was a great leader. He's got the Hudson Raiders playing well tonight. So he's a good guy to have on the sideline. He knows what he's doing, and he's got a history behind him as well.
Well, thanks for the story, and Matt and I will be right back with the second half. Second half about to get started here at Newton Field, and the Raiders leading this game 34-7 over Eau Claire North, and they will be receiving the kickoff. Matt, this has been a real one-sided affair. And what do the Raiders need to do to really, if they haven't put Eau Claire North away yet, what do you expect to see here?
I don't expect them to change much of their strategy here. They've run the ball really well around the edges, up the middle, options. Their defense has played extremely well up front. Their linebackers have made plenty of plays here. So I don't see them changing much here. The only thing you're going to see probably in the second half is them ending this game with a lot of their bench players and giving them an opportunity to play here in the final regular season game.
The starting return team on the field for the Raiders. And the Huskies will start it off with an onside kick that the Raiders are able to recover at the 45-yard line. So once again, great field position to start out for the Raiders. And what do you think that was all about?
Well, the Huskies need to get something going right away. And they went in the locker room. I'm sure the coach said, all right, guys, we need to get the ball right away. Let's try an onside kick. I don't know if the Raiders saw it coming, but they recovered it, and now they get the ball with great field position to start the second half. And let's see if they pick up where they left off.
And the Huskies will bring in some of those second stringers. Zastro in there for running back or at quarterback for the Raiders. Luke Miller hitting the bench, but they give it to Lotney up the middle, and Lotney picks up about 8 yards there right away for the Raiders.
So there you go, Luke Miller. His night is done here on senior night, more than likely. He'll get ready for the playoffs. They bring in the backup quarterback. You're going to see a lot of these young guys get an opportunity to play tonight, which is always fun.
And they'll give it to Lotney once again. Lotney untouched until he gets inside the 30-yard line, down to the 20, and that will move the chains once again for the Raiders. And anybody can play quarterback for the Raiders when that's all you need to do.
Again, getting into that second level, he wasn't touched really until he got to about the 20-yard line where he was brought down. You're going to see a lot of that going forward here for the Raiders. You minimize the opportunities for turnovers with the option and pitches and throws. You're going to see a lot of runs up the middle here. Keep that clock moving.
Raiders bringing in a few different replacements, some guys we haven't seen. Mac Hamlin checking in on the offensive line. I see Taylor Smith out there as well. Raiders take a knee as Hudson attends to an injured player. But, yeah, I think you're going to see not only some juniors onto the field, but maybe some seniors that don't get to play as much as some of the other guys. When you've got 99 guys, 90 guys on your varsity team, there's going to be some seniors that just aren't going to see the field. So this will be an opportunity for those guys to get in. And this has been a team in Hudson that doesn't typically blow people out. I mean, seems like Coach Cowles is quick to kind of put the hook in. I don't think he's a guy that really likes to run up the score on people. So he's going to get these guys some work. And, again, it's working on next year. We know where we're going this year. This game is pretty much on ice for the Raiders now. Going to a running clock doesn't really help the Raiders. It'd be nice to get the game over and get out of here, but really it's more valuable to get yourself basically a 30-minute scrimmage here against one of your conference opponents.
I hate to even mention it because you never want it to happen, but you're giving these young kids an opportunity to play because you just never know when a starter might go down. Look at tonight. Eau Claire North's quarterback goes down after one play. They're forced to go to their backup quarterback for the rest of the game. You never want that to happen, but you do have to prepare for it, and you have to give these kids an opportunity to play, and this is a perfect game for that.
Concepcion in there as well. Raiders making wholesale changes and bringing in some of these other guys and getting them some work.
Zastro wearing the number 21 jersey. Unique for the quarterback.
Zastro sets up in the pistol.
To see him much throwing, though.
And he will run the option, kicks it out to Bellin, and Bellin picks up about 5 or 6 yards there on first down.
I don't want to dwell on it too much, but number 21 on a quarterback. You don't see that often. It's like Otto Graham wearing number 60 back in old-time football. I like it.
Doug Flutie.
I like it.
Doug Flutie in the
Absolutely.
double deuce.
Absolutely. You don't see that. You don't see the quarterbacks in the 20s that often. So.
And this time they'll give it to Lotney up the middle. Lotney making his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Raiders. And Lotney took that run right behind big Austin Blank, who came in to play center. And Blank comes in at over 300 pounds, and he just pushed those Husky defenders out of the way. And the Raiders get into the end zone with Lotney, and they could go for 2 and get the running clock going, but they're going to send Somerville out there to kick the extra point. And again, running clock gets everybody out of here a little earlier, but this is a spot again where the Raiders can get a little work in. Kick is up and good by Somerville, and that will extend the lead to 41-7 with 10:37 left in the third quarter.
So the Raiders march down 52 yards and a couple plays here, and Lotney, big guy, 6'2", gets those legs going, gets those knees high. He's hard to bring down. You saw him shed about 3-4 tackles on his way to the end zone there. He's a nice runner. Junior getting an opportunity here to show what he can do, and he'll be a good option next year, of course, but maybe a good player to maybe spell.
Lotney, leading rusher on the Hudson Raiders this season. We saw Frank Snyder start this game. I think it was one of those issues where Coach Cowles tried to get Snyder a little bit of work here, but Lotney comes into the game tonight, leading rusher for the team and leading touchdown scorer on the ground for the Raiders.
Well, that may have been the case about it being senior night.
That could be as well.
And also maybe the
Snyder
fact that
in on the start for senior night.
This may be my first Raiders game, but I'm very impressed with Lonnie's run there, 6'2". There's a reason why he's the leading rusher for the team.
And North fields the kick and takes it up to about the 20-yard line. And yeah, we didn't bring – you had a late flag coming in there. We didn't bring you into this game to tell us about Hudson Lower. We brought you in just to break this team down. Sometimes it's nice to get an outsider's look at it. But, yeah, Dan didn't start tonight, probably because of senior night. They wanted to get Snyder on the field.
Yeah, he really hasn't – I haven't seen him run. Hasn't been on the field a lot because Snyder's been getting a majority of the carries. So there you go. You have Snyder and Lotney. Yeah, a good 1-2 punch there.
So the flag is against Eau Claire North. And it'll be a hold, and that will back the ball back to the 10-yard line.
So let's see what the Huskies do here on their last offensive possession. They threw a nice deep pass for a touchdown. Their only score of the game so far. I think Hudson's going to keep the pressure on here and try and force this quarterback into making some more bad decisions.
So the Huskies, again, working with their second-string quarterback. Fans left the game early, and he will run the quarterback keeper, and he's going to be drilled. And It's going to be a very short gain. Mitch Beinlich in there on the tackle for the Raider defense.
One of the things you've noticed from the Raiders defense all night is, I mentioned it before, they're just not missing tackles. These Hudson defenders, and I guess I should say the Huskies offensive players, are just not getting into the open field and making the defenders miss. Some good sure tackling tonight by Hudson.
Raiders have a couple of their second-string guys in there in defense, but the majority of defenders in the game still starters for the Raiders. And Holden will look to throw, and it's going to be knocked away, and that is Kelly out there on the coverage for the Raiders. Flag on the play back in the neighborhood of a hold against the Huskies. We'll see what they say. Yep, it will be hold against Eau Claire North, and we'll see what the Raiders do if they back them up. No, they're going to decline that and bring up 3rd down and 7 for North.
I think the Huskies' best chance of getting back in this game, or at least chipping away at this lead, is to go shotgun and use 4 wide receivers and let this quarterback just sling it around the field. Certainly things have not gone the way that the Huskies had hoped coming into this game with their quarterback being lost after the first play. But this young quarterback, this backup quarterback, he's got a good arm. I think you give him an opportunity to play out of the shotgun, take one step, and throw the ball.
Nobody on top of the slot receiver. And Holden will throw it out into the flats. And Fisher grabs it, but he's going to be short of the 1st down. And looks like Eau Claire North will send the punt team in.
Again, nice little play to get Fisher the ball in the open field, but the Raiders defense, once again, with their sure tackling, that's going to come in very handy. That's going to be important when you get into the playoffs. You start playing against teams that are filled with athletes that can make plays in the open field. You have to make sure that you make those tackles so they don't go for long yards.
So North will bring in the punter. Schmershna standing at around the 50-yard line, ready to receive the kick. And again, another high snap fielded by the North punter, and Schmershna is going to get it around the 46. And he's got some room, finds the edge, breaks a tackle, takes it back the other way, and he could be on his way to the end zone. Touchdown, Raiders! And
looks like there's a flag on the play, possibly a block in the back. Unfortunately for Schmershna again.
That's the 3rd touchdown of the evening brought back for Tyler Schmershna. He's returned a punt, taken a run, and returned an interception for a touchdown, and all 3 have been brought back due to the yellow hanky.
He took that at about the 50-yard line, ran about 125 yards for that touchdown. We're calling that a touchdown.
Yeah.
That is a penalty.
The penalty against Eau Claire North,
How
so
about
the
that?
touchdown will stand. So Schmershna puts it on the board, and that will take the lead to 47, and that is going to start the clock.
That was a nice highlight reel type punt return there. Came to the left side, found it clogged up. Reverse field, went all the way back to the other side of the field, had the punter to beat and outran him to the corner of the end zone. That was a great play there by Schmershna.
So Holmes in to hold for the extra point, and in the second half, once the lead gets to 35, the clock begins to roll. It'll be a continuous clock. Kick is up by Somerville and good, and that will make it 48-7 Raiders.
So the second half is starting just like the first half started, with 2 quick touchdowns by the Raiders. An onside kick failed by the Huskies. Raiders get good field position there. Then the second possession forced the Huskies to punt. Schmershna takes it to the house. Here we are, less than 6 minutes into the half. 14 more points on the board, 48-7.
Another big game going on right now in the Big Rivers. It's really the Big Rivers championship game right now. Menominee taking on Eau Claire Memorial over in Eau Claire at Carson Park, and Menominee leading that game right now 13-10 in the 3rd quarter. If Menominee wins, they will share the conference crown with Eau Claire Memorial. If Eau Claire Memorial wins, they will be the outright Big Rivers Conference champions.
And we got a baseball score. Brewers 3,
And of course, the only blemish on Menominee's record this season was last week's game with these Hudson Raiders. Raiders winning 37-24. And if you're looking for a copy of that game, it was about as good as it gets for a Hudson Raider football fan. Check us out. Send us an email to info@riverchannel.org or call 715. Eau Claire North taking this kickoff into Raider territory down to the 40-yard line, and I don't know what happened there, but the Raiders looked to tackle the wrong guy.
And two guys wrapped up the kickoff returner. He somehow squirts out of there and returns it for an extra 40 yards back into Raiders territory here about the 44-yard line. So there's one of those missed tackles that we've talked about that the Raiders just haven't made this game. They've been making all their tackles.
Memorial just tied it up, so it is 13-13 in the third quarter.
Update, we just got Eau Claire Memorial has tied up that game at 13 apiece. Eau Claire Memorial and Menominee tonight playing for the conference championship. But again, if you're looking for a game tape from last week's game, 715-386-0115. And North will hand it off to Fisher, and Fisher wrapped up after gaining about a yard on first down.
That handoff up the middle right there, nowhere to go. The defensive line, I can't say it enough. They're playing so well. They're standing up that offensive line. What I mean by standing them up, they're getting no push. The offensive line is getting no push on these defenders. And they're stopping the offensive line cold and then making the tackle 1-2 yards past the line of scrimmage, and brings up a 2nd and 9. Passing down here for the Huskies, but at this point at 48-7, most of them are passing downs.
And they will hand it off to Fisher around the right side. Fisher slips, and a tackler slips, and Fisher gets ahead for a first down before Tanner Owens makes the tackle. And the Raiders have made wholesale changes on defense, and the only starters still out there are Kelly, Owens, and Pruitt. Smersno was on the field for that play, but he's coming off the field right now. So we've got Pruitt, Owens, and Kelly out there as the only starters remaining on the field for defense. And they will give it to Fisher once again. Ball squirts out. Raiders trying to bring him down, and will pull him down after a short gain. So some new faces out there on defense for the Raiders. Ed Miles Lewis out there, the sophomore, making the tackle. But you got guys like Drew Cronbull out there on defense. Tim Boehm. Raiders getting some different defenders out there.
That was a nice play right there by Lewis. He saw an opportunity to make a hit. Witten put a lick on Fisher there. Very nice play by the youngster.
Only two sophomores on this varsity squad. Herink, one of them, and Lewis, the other one. This time, they'll throw it out in the flats. Ball comes loose. Raiders may have it.
They're going to call that a catch and a fumble.
And it's Raider football.
The Huskies coach is irate. He thought that should have been an incomplete pass, but they're calling that a catch and a fumble. They said he made a football move. And now it's going to be the Raiders' ball on the 32-yard line, their own 32 here. And the Huskies players looks like he's down.
Tanner Owens and Cole Miller in there on the play. And just when it looked like the Huskies were going to – and now the officials have decided it's an incomplete pass.
I think that was probably the right call there. You saw it was a bang-bang play, a great play by the Raiders defender right there to knock the ball loose. I don't think the wide receiver had possession of it. So they reversed the call, and now it'll go back to the Huskies. It'll be their ball around the 35, 40-yard line in Raiders territory.
So the officials take their time to confer and end up giving the ball back to the Huskies. Dylan Magadance also in there for the Raiders on defense. Trying to catch everybody. Thor Hansen.
Tim Boehm, junior defensive lineman's out there. Again, this is a good opportunity, not necessarily to rest your young kids. I mean, you got to rest your starters, because at this time of the year, you're not really looking to rest anyone. You're looking to give other people an opportunity to play in front of their home crowd. Last home game, and like you said, Hudson doesn't blow a lot of teams out, so there isn't that opportunity for these young guys to see the field, especially for this long. I mean, we have 5 minutes left in the third quarter. They're going to see their first extended playing time this season, and when the season eventually does come to an end for the Raiders, you're going to have these guys with experience, and they're going to walk into the offseason with a little bit more confidence. They're going to know what it feels like to go into a game next year. It's really important to get that game experience, especially for these sophomores and juniors that don't play that often, and to be able to feel the energy from the crowd underneath the lights. That's a big deal, and it usually takes a couple games, even to a year, for a lot of kids to adjust. So getting them playing time here is very valuable going forward for this Raiders program.
Jake Shaw, Jake Moline also on the field out there for the Raiders.
So they'll have it at the 36-yard line, the Huskies in Raiders territory.
And again, we are in running clock mode. The clock will not stop unless there's a timeout or an injury. And Fisher went down with that last injury, so the Huskies also forced to make a substitution there on offense, and they trot out Lucas Hestekin in their running back for the Huskies now. Jake Moline on the tackle for the Raiders.
Like Drew Cronbull was in on the play, a senior getting some playing time here. The linebacker, senior linebacker, getting an opportunity to make some tackles.
North fakes the throw, and then
that is going to be a turnover on downs. A nice hold right there by the Raiders there. The Huskies not able.
Thor Hansen coming up with the tackle for the Raiders, and as Matt said, that will turn over the ball on downs.
Nice little defensive stop there. They get the ball in Raiders territory, the Huskies do. They get a couple yards on the first play, and here is fourth and 2. Looked like quarterback was looking for his tight end. Well covered. Quarterback tucks it, runs. Tackle yard after the line of scrimmage, and now it's the Raiders' ball.
So Zastro will hand it off up the middle, and that is going to go to.
Looks like Austin Koski is out there getting some carries now. Junior tailback getting some work in there after we've seen Snyder get some carries early in the game. Lotney, second half.
Alex Wang coming off the field. Looks to have a minor injury. And Zastro will give it up the middle to Koski once again. Gain of about 2, and that'll bring up third down. And a long 5 coming up for the Raiders.
Now you have Mitch Tallgren, the offensive line. They're starting to rotate their offensive line. Again, getting these kids an opportunity to play, crack pads with somebody else, and this is a good feeling for these guys. They can leave the field, talk to their friends, their family, and let them know, hey, I got an opportunity to play and get in a game and play for an extended time. This is a good opportunity for these young men.
Zastro will send a man in motion, and they will hand it off. And he's going to get ahead for a first down, but there is a flag down. That was Andrew Dickerson with the carry. Nice run of about 8 yards, but I got a feeling this is coming back.
Yeah, that was a nice little run. He got around the left edge here, and offensive line, again, even though these are the backup offensive linemen here, they're getting a good push on this Huskies defense.
So he had a procedure penalty on the Raiders, probably someone not lined up where they should have been. And when you have this many players coming off and on the field, you're going to see something like that happen. But one thing I'd like to get back to is the defense coming up with that stop. It's one thing to get guys on the field and let them play, but it's another thing to have them experience some success. And that's a good thing that's going to come out of this game for the Raiders.
It's confidence. And the other thing is, that penalty right there, these are teachable moments. These are coachable moments. You can find a way to turn a negative play into a positive. And that's what these coaches will do. They're gonna look at this and say, did you need to hold that player? Did you need to line up in the wrong spot? What is this play? How did it happen? What can we do to improve it?
Nice run there by Blake Amborn, the junior. And I'm sure we'll see much more of him next year. Been a strong senior class when it comes to ball carriers out here for the Raiders. And it's tough for some of these other guys to get on the field.
Here's a guy we haven't seen yet this game.
Michael Lonkard, the punter. I haven't seen the punter yet for the Raiders tonight.
This is their first punt with 32 seconds left in the third quarter. It's the Raiders' first punt of the game. That tells you about the offensive success.
And
looks like it's going to be a delay of game here.
We'll have delay on the Raiders.
But you're right about having success, too. That's the other thing. It's one thing to play. It's one thing to see the field. It's another thing to say, these second-string, third-string young men are making plays. And that's great to see for this program.
Kick is away by Lonkard. It's a nice high kick. Eau Claire North will call for the fair catch at the 44, and that's Fisher returning to the game. So nice to see that he was able to shake off his injury. So we start the fourth quarter here with the Raiders leading this game 48-7, and with the continuous clock going, it will not take long to close this football game out here for the Raiders.
So it looks like we have all junior, sophomores out there on the field. Daniel Kelly, Jake Shaw, Miles Lewis. Giving these guys an opportunity to play. This is great. Matt Iverson, junior defensive back, he's in there.
Sam Somerville out there, the kicker. But
he's getting an opportunity to play some defensive back there. Jake Benoit playing on the defensive line there. He's a junior. Thor Hansen, another junior. So this is a good look right here at the future of Raiders football. You're going to see these guys in the field next year, all as seniors with significant playing time now under their belt going into next season and the offseason, which is very important. Hit the weight room together. You get an opportunity to.
North will pitch it around the left side. Sam Somerville and company in there to make the tackle. They stand him up, and it's going to be picking up about 3 yards on the run.
Good pursuit there. What I was saying was you carry this into the offseason. The guys get in the weight room together. They see how strong you have to be, what you have to be able to do when you get out on the field. And, they have a very good senior class that learned that throughout the years, and hopefully they learn that and they get back on the field next year and spring practice and they improve and use this as an opportunity to learn a little bit about high school football.
North will throw it out. That's actually reverse lateral, and they're going to throw it downfield from there. And Miloskowitz cannot come up with it.
Broken up by Miles Lewis there. That play looked like it was developing, and the Huskies were onto something there with the old double pass. But Miles Lewis at the last minute comes and knocks the ball out of the wide receiver's hand and makes a nice play and brings up third down here. Again, Lewis, the sophomore defensive back. He's 6 foot. He's got good size. He's got a good frame. He'll be able to add some weight and muscle to that if he hits the weight room and comes in next year as a junior and possibly look at some playing time as a junior. But he's not afraid at 6 foot, 175 pounds to throw his weight around back there at safety.
Coach Cowles doesn't bring up many sophomores, so if you come up as a sophomore in this program, you've got some talent. And this time, pump fake, and he's pulled down.
Jake Benoit with a nice play there. The quarterback looked like he had some running room there, but Benoit, who gets a nice round of applause from this crowd, makes the stop and brings up a fourth down.
So Jake Benoit staying home, pulling down the quarterback, and That'll bring up 4th down for Eau Claire North. And
I tell you what, he comes out after that play, and he gets a couple of attaboys from the sideline. It's always good to get your helmet smacked a couple times by your teammates. So nice play there by Jake.
Second team defense with an opportunity here at their second stop of the night. And North looks to throw. He'll throw it across the middle. That's going to be incomplete, but flags fly. The receiver hit the ground, and
it looked like Matt Iverson got there a little bit early, knocked the wide receiver to the field, or knocked him to the ground. Interference, going to give the Huskies a new set of downs. Looked like the ball was a little high, but at this point in the game, it's not going to hurt the Raiders much here. So. Some of the crowd not liking that call.
Some of the crowd being Joel Eby, who was able to make it to the game, standing below us and heckling. Nice to see Joel made it back from point today. And the snap hits the turf, and North will just cover it up there, and it's going to be a loss of about 7 yards. Mikhail Holden will just kind of lay on it, and that'll actually lose 10 yards on that, bring up 2nd and 20.
It's one of those plays where quarterback, all he really can do is fall on it. Don't want to make another mistake and fumble it again and turn the ball over. Just get an opportunity to live to fight another day, as they say.
Holden under center, and they will hand it off to Fisher.
Oh,
Fisher upended and pushed down out there.
Stuart Burns with a nice form tackle right there. Wrapped his arms around the runner's legs, lifted, and put him backwards. Nice hit there.
And Stuart Burns is going to probably want a copy of this video, and he'll watch that all winter long.
Well, with two seniors playing in that middle linebacker position, that's one of those plays right there that sticks with a player. He's going to remember that hit, and obviously the running back's going to remember it as well. But that's something to build on as you work toward his senior year here.
Holden winding up and throwing downfield, and again, Miloskowitz will reach over.
Brett Bussin in coverage. Nice coverage again. That wide receiver is taller than him, but he had good inside coverage, got in his pocket, put two hands up on the ball, knocked it away, giving the receiver really no shot at that catch. And now it looks like we're going to see a punt here on 4th down. 6 minutes left in the game.
Wow.
4th down and 18.
4th and 18, but in this position, why not just throw it up like they just did? They'll send out their punter, but maybe they'll fake it. Who knows? And it's a low kick. Trouble, and he's going to go down this time, and that's why you just go for it. They've had 3 attempts at punts tonight, and all the snaps have been bad.
Tim Bohm with the punter sack there, and everybody's jumping on him too. It's good atmosphere when these juniors can come off the field and the seniors can give them a little pat on the head and their coaches can congratulate them. It's
second chance out there for the second team defense, and they have stopped Eau Claire North both times.
Yeah, highlighted by that Stuart Burns tackle. And I think that Burns tackle, he may want to copy this tape, but I think the coaches may want to copy this tape as well to show the other players, because that's how you tackle a guy. He wrapped his arms around the thighs, lifted up, and pushed him back. That's a good form tackle there for the junior.
Nice
backup linebacker.
Nice run there by Koski. Picks up 7 on 1st down and brings up a 2nd down and a long 3 for the Raiders. And they will give it to Koski once again. And Koski still on his feet. He's going to pick up about 2. That should bring up about a 3rd and 2 coming up here for the Raiders.
Raiders taking no chances at turning it over, and really they're doing what's right and what's what's good sportsmanship here is just handing it off up the middle. They're not trying anything exotic around the edges. Just hand it up the middle and see if you can plug away at the yards here and bring this game to an end in a good way that you keep goodwill between both teams, because you know you're going to see them next year. So good move here by the Raiders.
And they will go up the middle once again, and Koski's going to be short of the first down, but
that's going to be about 4th and 1 here.
Probably a spot where you're going to go for it here.
I don't see him deviating from the last 3 plays here. You're probably going to see one more Koski carry up the middle, or
well, they'll send
looks
the
like
punt
we're going to
team
bring
out.
the punt team on here.
So
a late call by the Raiders coaches to put the punt team out there.
4th and 1, and maybe this is another spot where you get line cars some work. The Raiders
again. This is a good situational play for this Raiders team, getting ready for the playoffs.
and
you want to work on your long
high.
snaps. You want to work on your punting.
Line car gets off a beauty of a kick though, but it takes a north bounce, and the Raiders will down it around the 17.
I will give the Raiders credit there. They hustled their punt team out there. Everybody was out there. Everybody was lined up in the right spot, and in a short matter of time, they got the punt away inside the 20. That's things you got to work on sometimes. When a coach was thinking about maybe going for it on 4th down, makes a decision right at the last minute. No, let's punt it. And your team's got to be ready. Even in a 48-7 game here, the fact that the punt team was ready, that shows me that this team is well coached. They're prepared, and they're ready for just about anything, which is a good sign heading into the playoffs.
Holden under center, and the snap is fumbled. I believe the Raiders have the football.
So do they. They believe it, and they do. So with 2:30 left, I would say this is probably the last possession of the game unless the Raiders score. I think you're going to see a couple Koski carries up the middle and let that clock run out.
Matt Iverson coming up with the pill, and Holden came out from under center, just didn't have the ball. And Iverson, Johnny on the spot there, scoops up the ball, and it'll be Raider football. 2 minutes and 17 seconds left in the game, and again, clock ticking. The Raiders lead this game 48-7. It's a 41-point lead, and that continuous clock begins at a 35-point lead. So we've had pretty much a continuous clock since the 4th quarter started.
Another junior in there, Ben Cook at wide receiver. Probably not going to see any action here because they're just going to run the ball.
And they'll give it to Koski. Koski gets inside the 15 down to the 14. Gain of about 4 on 1st down. Clock ticking at 1:38.
Well, this has been one impressive game by the Hudson Raiders. Offensively, defensively, they started it early with turnovers, running around the edges, up the middle. They really didn't have to throw the ball. Their defense put them in great field position all day, forcing turnovers and stops. A lot of good stops here on 4th down as well. And that last drive before the half, let's not overlook that as well. They went 60 yards in 19 seconds to kick a field goal.
And Zastro will kneel on it, and with 57 seconds left, the Raiders will probably have to do that one more time, and they will cap off a 48-7 victory over Eau Claire North, avenging last season's disappointing loss to this football team in a game that I'm sure just about everybody thought that the Raiders would win that game and clinch the playoff spot. And the season kind of unraveled at that point. But the good news is we don't have that situation this year. In 2011, the Raiders are going to go into the playoffs 6-3 overall, going into the playoffs a hot football team, winners of their last 3 games, including victories over their rival River Falls, victories over undefeated Menominee team, and tonight a victory over Eau Claire North. Next week's game, the Raiders will be playing in the WIAA Level 1 playoff. They clinched their spot last week. We don't know who the opponent will be This is a Thursday night game, and most games this week are on Friday night. So we really don't know what's happening at this point. You'll be watching this probably on Saturday or later. And if you're looking for the opponent for the Raiders, they'll be playing next Friday or Saturday. It'll either be the October 21st or October 22nd. And again, we don't know if it'll be a home game or an away game. The Raiders, with this victory, depending on how other games in the state shake out, could get a home game. It just kind of depends on how things happen here, how things go in the next 2 days. But those pairings will come out on Saturday. You can check WIAAWI.org and go to the football page, and you'll see the pairings and who this Hudson football team plays. But it has been a magnificent season for these Hudson Raiders. 6-3 overall. They've played some tough games, and you can't fault them for going after some really tough competition. The Raiders have played 6 teams that were ranked this season, so they weren't shying away from anyone. They went out in their non-conference schedule and scheduled 2 teams that were among the best in the state of Wisconsin. And hopefully it pays off for them when playoff time comes. Joel Eby missed tonight's game, but Matt Lechner, thanks so much for stepping in for Joel. It was a treat to have you here, and we loved hearing the Coach Cowell story. That was a fun one, but it was good to have your insight and to bring someone in that's outside the program and just to see what your idea and what you saw in this football team.
Well, it's my pleasure to be here. I think this Raiders team is built on running, obviously, built on a strong defense. If they can keep getting points off turnovers, they should be prepared for a nice playoff run possibly. Their linebackers played well. Their defensive line played extremely well.
Student section getting ready to receive their team. They'll sing the fight song, and as you can see, the student section came out in blaze orange tonight. The Raiders celebrating a 48-7 win over Eau Claire North. For Matt Lechner, I'm Chris Larson. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next week. It's the WIAA Level 1 playoffs, either Friday or Saturday. Check the website. We'll be there. We hope you are too. Thanks for watching.